They always say, just move on. But what if I told you there's a better way? What if I told you that your emotional reaction isn't giving you power, it's taking it away? What if I told you that thousands of years ago, ancient philosophers discovered the secret to handling pain with dignity and strength? Today, that wisdom becomes yours. If you're watching this, it's because you're done being controlled by your emotions. You're done letting someone else's actions determine your mental state. You're about to learn how true Stoic principles, ancient, tested and powerful, become your path to freedom. This isn't just about relationships. This is about life, control, self-respect. It all comes down to one thing: how you respond when life tests you. So sit back, lock in and pay attention, because by the time you finish this video, you'll never be controlled by others again. Every single day, millions of people get caught in the same trap. Someone they care about pulls away, grows distant, and suddenly everything changes. They find themselves checking their phone non-stop, overthinking every interaction, analyzing every word, every pause, every silence. They become reactive, emotional, desperate. This is the problem. The moment you react emotionally, you surrender your freedom. The moment you chase external validation, you lose your center. The moment you let someone else determine your worth, you hand them control over your happiness. This is what the Stoics understood better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." Epictetus taught, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." These weren't just philosophical ideas. They were practical tools for maintaining inner strength in a challenging world. When someone hurts you, whether intentionally or not, your natural response is to react. They pull back, delay their replies, become distant. Maybe they used to send you good morning texts, now nothing. Maybe they used to make plans, now they're always busy. Your instinct is to chase, to question, to seek validation. But the Stoics would see this differently. They would ask, what is within your control? Here, the ancient Stoic Epictetus said, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which are my own judgments that are under my control. Their actions are external, not under your control. Your response is internal, completely within your power. Most people break under emotional pressure. They check their phone every few minutes, overanalyze conversations, panic thinking they need to act immediately. They reach out first, double text, apologize for things they didn't do, but this doesn't earn respect. It surrenders power. These Stoics understood that true strength comes from mastering yourself, not controlling others. Seneca wrote, "He who has prepared himself for all possibilities has nullified the power of fortune." When you base your worth on someone else's validation, you've given them your power. The Stoic approach is different. Recognize your inherent value, independent of anyone's opinion or attention. The space between stimulus and response, that's where your freedom lies. When someone pulls away from you and you don't chase, when someone tries to provoke you and you remain calm, when you show that external circumstances don't shake your inner peace, that's when you embody true Stoic strength. By the time they realize the power of your self-control, something important has already happened. You've changed. The version of you that would have chased validation, that would have crumbled under emotional weight, that person no longer exists. You've become what the Stoics valued most, a person governed by reason, not passion. Silence isn't just absence. Silence is presence. presence of mind, presence of self-control. Ancient Stoics practiced periods of silence as meditation, as training for self-mastery. When you choose dignified silence over emotional reaction, you aren't just waiting, you're actively practicing philosophical strength. Modern relationships often become power games. Most people are playing checkers, responding to each move reactively. The Stoic plays chess, thinking several moves ahead, focusing on long-term virtue rather than short-term emotional relief. But here's where most people make a critical mistake. When someone who hurt them reaches back out with something casual, "Hey, hope you're doing good," they see it as a victory. They reply instantly, eager to restart conversation, thinking they've won. But Marcus Aurelius would remind us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Is this interaction adding value to your life or merely alleviating temporary emotional discomfort? The Stoic response isn't about making someone chase you, it's about ensuring you only welcome connections that align with your values. If someone truly regrets losing your presence, they will demonstrate that through meaningful action, not casual texts. Until then, maintain your philosophical composure. The silence isn't intended to punish. That would be an external goal, something the Stoics cautioned against. Instead, your silence is about reclaiming your attention, redirecting it to what truly matters. As Marcus Aurelius advised, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. When you stop chasing external validation, you free up enormous mental energy. You can focus on your goals, your growth, your purpose. You build a life of virtue, the highest Stoic ideal. And something interesting happens. The stronger your internal foundation becomes, the less you need anyone's approval. The Stoics practice something called the view from above, mentally stepping back to see situations from a cosmic perspective. When you feel hurt by someone's actions, try this practice. Imagine zooming out, seeing your situation from farther and farther away. From this perspective, how important is this temporary pain? How significant is this one relationship in the context of your entire life? Epictetus taught his students, remember that you are an actor in a play, and the playwright chooses your role. You can't control being hurt, but you can control how you perform your role in response. Will you play the role of someone controlled by others, or someone in command of themselves? The weak response takes any sign of attention as validation. The Stoic response asks, does this align with my values? Does this contribute to a virtuous life? Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most people create elaborate stories about why someone pulled away, what they're thinking, whether they'll come back. The Stoic cuts through this narrative and focuses on reality. And here's the truth. By the time you've built this Stoic mindset, by the time you've refocused on your purpose and values, you may find that the person who once occupied your thoughts is no longer even relevant to your path. This isn't about winning them back, it's about winning yourself back. During this entire process, while others might be consumed with doubt and games, you've been building. You've been focusing on yourself, improving your mind and body, working toward your goals, leveling up in every way. You weren't sitting around waiting for someone to decide if you were worthy. You were proving your worth to yourself through action and character development. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journals, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Your response to being hurt isn't to hurt back. It's to grow beyond the capacity to be hurt in the same way again. This growth, this transformation, is the essence of Stoic practice. The longer you maintain your philosophical composure, the more you embody these ancient principles. the more you'll notice a shift in how people respond to you. Not just this one person who hurt you, everyone. People sense when someone has true inner strength, when they can't be manipulated by emotional tactics. But she's not going to immediately recognize the transformation. She might test you. She might send subtle signals, looking for any sign that she still has emotional access to you. This isn't about her. It's about your continued practice of Stoic principles. Each test becomes an opportunity to demonstrate self-mastery. The unwise person takes these small gestures as victory. They think, this is it. They realize they want me back. But the Stoic understands that emotional reactions cloud judgment. As Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. If your goal is to be a person of strength and dignity, then maintain that strength and dignity regardless of external validation. If someone truly regrets losing your presence, they won't send breadcrumbs. They'll make their intentions clear. They won't just like your post. They'll demonstrate changed behavior, and until that happens, your focus remains on your virtuous development. The moment you stop chasing external validation, the moment you refocus on internal growth, the moment you prioritize virtue over temporary emotional relief, you become the person you were always meant to be, not just someone worth returning to, but someone who no longer measures their worth by who returns. That's what true Stoic power looks like. That's what true self-respect is, and that's why this philosophy has endured for over 2,000 years. Everything changes the moment you detach from outcomes. Everything transforms when you stop seeking approval, stop chasing validation, stop trying to convince others of your worth. You become something most people will never be, truly free. Detachment isn't indifference. It's freedom from being controlled by things outside your power. It's the difference between those who live on their own terms and those who spend their lives reacting to circumstances. It's the skill that separates those who get what they want from life and those who are constantly wondering why nothing works out for them. The brutal truth is, you don't need to get them back. You don't need to win anyone over. What you need is to reclaim your power by focusing on what the Stoics called the dichotomy of control, clearly distinguishing between what you can and cannot influence, their behavior, not in your control. Your response completely yours, their return not your concern, your dignity entirely your responsibility, their opinion irrelevant, your character the only thing that truly matters. Most people live seeking external approval. They want someone to tell them they are enough, to validate their worth, to confirm their value. But what happens when you stop seeking validation? What happens when you realize, as Marcus Aurelius wrote, that you have power over your mind, not outside events? Realize this, and you will find strength. That's when everything shifts. That's when people start to respect you differently. That's when you stop being an option and start being a choice. The person who doesn't need validation is paradoxically the one who receives genuine appreciation. The person who isn't seeking attention is often the one who commands it. The person in control of their emotions is the one who influences every room they enter. Once you master this Stoic detachment, it extends beyond this one relationship. It transforms every interaction in your life, every friendship, every business deal, every challenging situation. When people realize they can't shake your composure, that they can't control your emotions, that you're governed by reason rather than reaction, they treat you with a different level of respect. In today's world, most people are reactive. Most people are seeking validation. Most people need external confirmation of their worth, but not you, because you've embraced the Stoic path. and that makes you uncommon in the best possible way. This isn't just about relationships. This isn't just about handling someone who hurt you. This is about power, not power over others, but power over yourself. The power to choose your response. The power to maintain your dignity. The power to live guided by virtue rather than validation. Most people will never access this power. They'll remain trapped in cycles of reaction, constantly at the mercy of others' actions. But the moment you choose Stoic principles, the moment you focus on what's within your control, the moment you prioritize virtue over validation, that's when you become the person you were meant to be. By the time they realize what they've lost, by the time they regret walking away, you won't even care anymore. Not out of spite, but because you've grown beyond that need. That's the true victory, because the real prize was never their attention. The real prize was the person you became when you stopped seeking it. If you're ready to become unshakable, if you're ready to take full control of your life, if you're ready to be the person who never needs external validation to know their worth, then subscribe right now. Support this channel, because by doing so, you're helping millions of people break free from the mindset that keeps them weak. And before you go, I want every single one of you to comment, "I am in control of my response." Write it, type it, own it, because from this moment forward, that's exactly who you are.